Here in the kitchen of my good friend Diane Devereaux, the Canning Diva, who's here to talk to us a little bit about the importance of canning, not just fruits and vegetables, but all types of things that you can really have some sustenance throughout the year.
Absolutely, because without sustenance, we're just not doing our body justice. So while it's good to have those pickles and even some of the healthy immune boosting stuff, protein is what feeds our body. So we can put protein in a jar that can be shelf stable, and with a pressure canner, we are permitted to do so. These are very low acid items because there's no acid in chicken and meats and beans and such. So a pressure canner is how you then preserve these things long term.
And you have some really great ideas. Like, I would have never thought about canning a meal in a jar.
Yeah.
People do that to take to work, but you're doing it for months at a time.
Yes. So, I work from home. So when I don't have time to cook from scratch, I pop open a jar and voila, I have my meat, I have my vegetable, I have my starch all in one jar, heat it up and go. So yeah, and I've got a lot of followers on Facebook that will take their soups, their stews, chicken pot pie filling. They'll go ahead and they'll make biscuits ahead of time, and they'll take 2 biscuits and a pint of chicken pot pie filling to work, heat it up in the microwave, and voila, they have a homemade lunch.
So wonderful, healthy lunch. We need to remember that protein is what really feeds our body.
Absolutely, because without it, we can't survive on pickles and tomatoes and jam, right? We have to have the sustenance. So right now, you can do your body a very good service, whether you are trying to stay healthy or you're recovering from being sick. Your body needs that fuel in order to get healthy again. So proteins like your chicken soups, of course, but also pinto beans, chickpeas. I have one of my favorites here. This is chickpeas with tomatillos, a touch of paprika, garlic. Very, very yummy. You roast those tomatillos and it's amazing. Chicken pot pie filling soups, stews, so things like beef stew or just even wild game in a red wine sauce.
Wow, that sounds yummy.
It is so yummy. So for those of you at home, think of what's in your freezer, and if you want to start rotating and you happen to have some of that venison or you've got an old pot roast, those can be turned into meals that you can then put into a jar or even recipes.
And I know a lot of people think about canning and they say, oh my gosh, that seems overwhelming. But you have come out with the Beginner's Guide to Canning, yes. 90 easy recipes to can, savor, and gift. And I love it because it makes it easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy, absolutely. Because I'm telling you, the biggest intimidating factor is, wow, this sounds great, but I don't know where to get started. So to have a guide that takes you down that course from, beginning to end, cradle to grave, that's what my book will do for you. And it does take away those fears, misnomers, gives you step-by-step instructions for both water bathing and pressure canning, because you need both. So it really gives you, soups to nuts. No pun intended. You got a lot of good recipes in there.
Now, I've known you the better part of 10 years, and so you've got a lot of experience when it comes to canning, and you do a really great job of making it simple for those to be able to pick up this book and feel like they can confidently go forward with it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I appreciate that because that's my whole goal. The Canning Diva, that name is fun and a little sexy, and yes, I bring it into the kitchen with some flair. But at the end of the day, if I'm not doing my job making it easy for you, you're not going to want to preserve food. You're not going to want to can. So you're darn right. I make it easy, simple, and I push away the minutia and I give it to you straight. And next thing you know, you're going to be on my Facebook page posting pictures of your awesome recipes that you canned yourself.
And what better way to stay healthy than to know that you made the food and you know what's in it?
Absolutely. You know what's in every jar. Some of you will even grow your own now. There's so many advantages to home preserving because there's no chemicals. There's nothing in here but acid, time, temperature, the 3 main pillars. That's it.
Thanks, Diane, for a reminder of how important canning is. And if you'd like to get involved, I've got a link on our website, 13onyourside.com.